Close your eyes and imagine a world with no words, no language, no sentences, no way to tell someone else what you're thinking. Just grunts, clicks, pointing at things. For most of human existence, this was our reality. Then, something changed. A mutation. A biological switch. A moment that would transform us from animals into something entirely new. This is the story of how humans learned to talk, and why it's the most important discovery we never knew happened. Let's go back to 300,000 years ago. Early humans roam Africa. They're smart. They use tools. They cooperate in groups. But they can't talk. Not like we do. They can make sounds, grunts, screams, warning calls, just like chimpanzees and gorillas. But they cannot form complex sentences, cannot pass down knowledge through words, cannot tell stories or jokes or lies. They cannot think like we think. Because language and thought are connected. You can't have one without the other. So how did they survive? How did they remember things? How did they teach the next generation? They didn't. Not efficiently. Knowledge was lost. Discoveries had to be remade. Every generation started from scratch. Then, evolution intervened. Around 100,000 years ago, though scientists still debate this, something happened. A gene mutated. A tiny change in our DNA. This gene is called FOXP2. It's only 715 letters long in our genetic code. Absolutely minuscule. But it controls everything related to language. The FOXP2 gene tells your brain how to coordinate your vocal cords, process sound, form sentences in your mind, understand grammar, connect sounds to meanings. When FOXP2 mutated in the right way, humans suddenly could talk. And it wasn't gradual. It wasn't a slow evolution. It was like someone flipped a switch. One day, humans made grunts and clicks. The next generation, they could speak. Here's what makes this even crazier. FOXP2 isn't unique to humans. Chimpanzees have FOXP2, gorillas have it, even birds have it, but ours is different. Our version has two critical mutations that other animals don't have. One mutation happened about 200,000 years ago. The other, we're not sure. Maybe 100,000 years ago. Maybe longer. When both mutations lined up perfectly, language became possible. Scientists tested this by inserting the human version of FOXP2 into mice. The mice started vocalizing differently. They made different sounds than normal mice. A single gene, two mutations, and suddenly you can communicate in ways no other animal on Earth can. But here's the thing that keeps scientists up at night. We don't actually know when humans started talking. FOXP2 mutation probably happened 100,000 to 200,000 years ago. But evidence of complex language, symbols, written records, that doesn't show up in the archaeological record until 40,000 years ago. So did humans have the ability to speak for 60,000 to 160,000 years before they actually used it? Did they sit around with the capacity for language but never developed it? Or did they start talking immediately but we just can't find the evidence? Nobody knows. It's one of the greatest mysteries in human evolution. What we do know is this. Once humans could talk, everything changed instantly. Within a few thousand years of humans developing language, we see cave paintings, 40,000 years ago. Complex tools, refined, specialized. Trade between groups, art and decoration, rituals and religion. Stories passed down orally. Before language, tools stayed the same for 100,000 years. After language, new tools every generation. Before language, each group was isolated. After language, groups traded, shared ideas, cooperated. Before language, knowledge died when elders died. After language, knowledge accumulated, civilization began. Here's what's wild. Neanderthals lived alongside early humans for thousands of years. Neanderthals were strong, they were smart, they made sophisticated tools, but they probably couldn't talk. Their vocal cords were different. Their FOXP2 gene was the old version. Their brains were organized differently. So when humans started talking, Neanderthals couldn't keep up. Humans could coordinate hunts with complex instructions. Neanderthals just grunted. Humans could pass down refined hunting techniques. Neanderthals rediscovered the same tricks. Humans could form larger, more organized groups. Neanderthals stayed small and isolated. Within 10,000 years, Neanderthals went extinct. They were replaced by talking humans. Language wasn't just an advantage. It was a death sentence for any species that didn't have it. So what was the first human word? Nobody knows. It's lost to history, erased 100,000 years ago. But scientists have theories. Most likely, it was a noun. Water, fire, animal, danger. Simple, survival-related words that pointed to things. Then came verbs, hunt, run, kill. Then came adjectives, big, sharp, hungry. Then came the really complex stuff. Abstract words, past tense, future tense, emotions, ideas that don't exist in the physical world. This probably took thousands of years to develop, but once it did, humans could think about anything, not just what was in front of them, but what could be, what might happen, what they felt. Language didn't just let us communicate, it let us imagine, dream, plan, hope, fear, love. Language made us human. Here's the most mind-blowing part. That first human word, the one spoken 100,000 years ago, it created a chain reaction. That word led to other words. Those words led to stories. Stories led to culture. Culture led to civilization. Civilization led to science, art, technology, everything. Every book ever written, every song ever sung, every movie, every joke, every love letter. It all traces back to that first word, to one human, maybe 100,000 years ago, pointing at something and making a sound. And another human understanding it. That moment, that single moment of connection. That's when humanity was born. We take language for granted. You're reading these words right now without even thinking about it. But language is the most powerful tool humans ever created. More powerful than fire. More powerful than the wheel. More powerful than the internet. Because language is what created all of those things. Every innovation, every invention, every discovery started with someone talking, sharing an idea, convincing others, building consensus. Without language, we'd still be grunting in caves. Without that tiny FOXP2 mutation, we'd still be animals. But someone, somewhere, 100,000 years ago, decided to try something new. They opened their mouth and made a sound, and everything changed forever.